Hello Tech Genius, I am Ravi. Have you ever imagined a place where learning is as dynamic as the technology shaping your world? Then here's a deal. With iMatix, you can make sure the learning is exciting, impactful right from the beginning. You have interactive sessions with expert-led courses. In the world of tech, from data science to cloud computing, it's not just about a session, it's about doing, building, learning by solving real problems. So let's get started. Then going ahead, today we will talk about parallel processing. Then we will also talk about this locking mechanisms. Far, we know parallel development, we know like team collaborations. How does that happen? How multiple teams can work in parallel using teamed applications, using branches, merging, solving conflicts. All that is part of the parallel development. And then one more other aspect is your check-ins, check-outs and private edit. That also handles parallel development to an extent. This is parallel processing. Now, what is this? Parallel processing means it happens in parallel, and this is not regarding the development. This is not during development. Rather, this is during the execution of your application. How does your application execute for processes that run in parallel? One aspect of this is I can use the concept of parallel process on the stage level. We have that option and I can add in processes that run in parallel. All the processes on my stage. They can be sequential or they can be in parallel depending upon the dependencies and all. But this is more likely that the processes are quite simple. There's no repetition in it or it just executes once. For example, there is an onboarding stage here. There is a stage for onboarding. And for example, I might have some process. Generally in the onboarding, maybe I verify that this is part of some HR. As part of HR activities, verify documents and bank account and sort of stuff. Similarly, in parallel, I can have the IT looking after the infra and the laptops and stuff. For example, provide items. And there could be another process for admin to grant my access. This is part of the admin. Something like issue IDs or grant access. This is also called parallel processing only because all these three processes can run in parallel. But provided they don't have any dependencies. I think yes, they're all independent of each other. Error activities is carried by HR team. Infra is provided by the IT team, whereas access is provided by the admin. There are different people working on it, and the processes are independent of each other. I can handle it using this parallel process on this stage. But what if my processes are a little more complex? There's a lot of repetition involved. Or I need some other different levels of, more granular level control is required. I need such sort of things. For example, Now if I would like to add in one more state, suppose some resolution, which does not have anything, just that it is a simple resolution. Now, when does my transaction come to resolution stage? Is it after just any of HR activities provided for our grant access, if any of it would complete? Or is it mandated that all of this have to complete? Guesses. Should it be that I should wait until all of the processes are complete here? All of the processes? Yes, it has to be. Even though they are in parallel, I should wait until all the processes are complete, and only then I can proceed to the next stage. For example, if I would like to just show this, I think I'll directly jump to the interview. Probably we will go to the release offer directly. We'll jump. Release offer. Now I see issue is part of one of the parallel process. Now I see 3 open assignments. Are they part of 3 processes? If I advance the case to the next stage, which means issue IDs is part of the Async admin, this process is complete. Now did the system move to resolution? No, it's still on the onboarding. It's still on the onboarding. It did not move to resolution. What is it waiting for? It's waiting for the 2 parallel process, which is one is verify docs and other is provide laptops. Let us go with verify docs. Let me open this process. Now one process is complete. The other process regarding verify docs is part of HR activities. Yes, 2 open assignments are there once I finish this process. Is the system into resolution? Not. Still says provide laptops is pending. And once I finish this, only then the case moved further. I was not able to configure that. If the verification of documents is done, please proceed to resolution. I was not able to set anything like that. Those granular level of controls are missing on this. And if, in case I want to iterate on few things, I wouldn't be able to do it here. This parallel process is more like a limited access that I have or limited scope that I have. But in order to handle more complex scenarios, that's when we go for using separate shapes for this. And they're also part of parallel processing in the applications. We would be talking about 3 different new shapes regarding this parallel process, and where we can achieve a lot of granular level control. Let's see what are those. Here we'll be talking about splay, join split for each and spin off. We'll talk about 3 different shapes here. and the process into which you are adding these shapes is considered the main process, and rest of the processes are called subprocess. That's how the naming conventions. I think we look at split join. What is split join? You're splitting the process and then you're joining it back again. That's what you're doing, splitting the process first and then you're joining it back. Now, how does this work? Let's take a simple example where you have applied for a loan. When you apply for a loan initially, you provide in all the details. You provide the site or the home onto which you are taking a loan. All of these details and documents are provided. Now there are different teams to assess you. A lot of underwriting happens to assess you. Let's assume that the background verification team would check your background, as in your address details, all those job related, the qualification details. All of that is verified by the background team, and the loan team would be looking out for your property. Is the property value the actual value that is quoted or not? Where is it located? Is it a building or not? They would value your property. There's a property valuation team that looks after this. Then there might be an underwriter team which looks after your credit scores, your past loan history, what is your repayment history. All that is checked by the underwriting team, and each of them will have their own process. Loan property valuation team will have their own process. There will be different people who will be working on it. An underwriting team's process could be different. But towards the end, if all of these say yes, go ahead, only then your case can move further. Unless, or at least the underwriting team should say, only then your loan request can proceed further. The thing is, we would be able to design processes in parallel, and we will also be able to decide when the case should move further. When all the sub-processes are complete, or only are you looking at any specific one, or at least any two of them are complete, would you proceed? You can choose that option, and we will be able to take that privilege when it comes to split join. I think we'll go ahead, we'll do this directly and see how it works. That means I think I'll let me open this process. The process looks like this. Now I think I'll just add in one more stage here. And just drag it towards the front. Now I have a sample process and just add in some sample collecting. Now let's see, let us add in some split join shape here. How do I add it? Just open the process and it is part of the advanced options, advanced shapes. It's not part of a regular shape, you see it on the advanced. Yes, here is your split join. You see the flow is being split and then you're joining it. Let me open. Here, what do I see? First, the join conditions. When should I join back with the main flow? Is it when all my subprocessors are complete or any of them is complete, which means at least one of them is complete? I'll proceed. Or are you looking at some? When it is some, we have other conditions. You can decide which one of it has to be completed, or you have a condition or something, you can design it. For now, let me put it to all. Then what you have is the flow rules, which means your actual process. Let me add process and name it a process A. Let me name it subprocess A. And you have different options on how you would like to configure your flow. Is it on the current scope? Is it on work recruitment? If yes, you can give it. If you would like to add another page, if it's part of some other class or it's part of an embedded page, then you can give it appropriately. It could be part of a data page or something. Is there any flow on the data page you would like to have? This is all related to the flow definition, as in where is it? How are you using it? You have it on the current page itself. I think I'll go ahead and create one flow, a simple one. Or I think I'll just use any of these. I think I'll use grant taxes. There's a flow for grant taxes that we have just designed. This one that we have just configured. Taxes. It is also part of the work recruitment. I can use it. You can use grant taxes. Would you like to mention any case type and all for it? Yes, you can do it. You can select the case type that you want to associate this flow with. By default, as it's on the current page, anyways, it will be picking up work recruitment. But if you use any other embedded pages or other pages, then you might need to associate this. For now, I don't need to do it. And let me add in one more, maybe subprocess B. And this again I would like to use providing flow. I've added two shapes. I've added two flows for this. Click join. I think here I'll add one more assignment. Just name it post subprocess. I have a sub process where in fact I have two sub process, which is one is grant taxes, one is provide flow, and my criteria is only after both of these complete, because I've mentioned the join condition as all. Only after both of these are complete my case will move further. That's my criteria. Let's check. This is the shape even visible here. Should be. Yes, I see a script join. Let us move the transaction. Collect sample info. Let me advance the case. And what do I see is, I see provide laptops, and I also see an open assignment here. And what does it say? The next step has been routed. This is more likely similar to your parallel process, where until all of it is complete, the case will not move further. But here we see the advantages are that you can reuse flows from any context. It can be from the case flow, it can be from other cases, or it can be from other embedded properties also. That's the advantage. Once I proceed with issue IDs, only after this is complete, I move on to the post sub process. Because we have designed it, unless all of it is complete, I cannot proceed further. Likewise, it could be just in any of this is complete. Either one of it is complete. My transaction can just proceed. Once I went. Once my provide laptop is complete, one process is complete. I'm already on to the post sub process. It can be any process. If my criteria is even one of the process, complete could be anyone. Then I will choose any. I said any. I might have n number of process, but at least one of it is complete. I can proceed further. Or if you are very specific that some condition should be completed, I can define n condition. It could be a flag or it could be anything related to your process. It could be anything. I can define my n condition. And if this is true, if your n condition is met, only then my case will proceed further. Otherwise, it will be on hold until all the process will come, or at least until your condition is met. This is the level of control that we could have when you are using these advanced shapes. Clear with this? Split join. Joining it back onto the floor. This holds good when you have a single input and on the same input you are handling multiple processes. Like for example, your loan applications. You are just one candidate for the loan and all the teams are working on that one candidate. Now let's take the exact opposite scenario. When I have 1000 candidates to be interviewed for a job. Let's assume 1000 candidates are being interviewed for a job. All the candidates have to go through the same process, correct? All of them should go through a written test. All of them should go through interview, maybe a technical discussion, and then finally a chat discussion. The processes are going to be the same here, whereas the candidates are different. I will iterate the list of candidates for the processes. That's part of your split for each. You're splitting the sub-process for multiple candidates. It's like a list of records are there and each item on the record has to be repeated for the same sub-process. That's where your split for each comes into picture. Let's see. Now, instead of split join, I would like to use split for each. You're splitting the process for each item. That's what split for each sees. You see there's this repeat symbol, the iteration symbol. Means that you are iterating. The first thing it would ask is, on what property should I iterate it? What property are we doing this? By this time, will the student list be populated? I think it will be empty. For now, let me just on what property am I iterating this process on student list? If you are talking about interview, the candidate list may be, and here you would be asked only one single flow. There's only one flow here, but it is executed multiple times depending upon how many entries you have on this list. I think I will do one thing. I let this be. I will not touch this instead. I think by this time we are getting the list populated. On customer info. No, I think on personal info. I think we are. We are populating a list somewhere, isn't it? It was on educational info. But it did not get saved last time. I think I'll just put it on customer info itself. Correct, it did not get saved. What is a candidate list? When property is also not created, which one did we take as a student? Student 1. Student. It has got some records. I mean, with the 0 items on the list, what would we iterate on? Let's see. Please like 3 to 4 records. Four records on it should be good. and there's a student list data. I would expect like 4 records on the student list. What is that added? I still doubt. Then I think I'll do one thing, I'll add it in collective. Student list data, yes. Then I think, anyways, we have the list data already on the screen. I think we can directly remove this. What is the input? My input for this is going to be student list data. And then the class is populated. What is the flow that you would like to repeat? Where is it getting created? If you observe this flow or the sub-process, it is being created on the data-student class, not on the work dash. Because the entities that you are operating is on data-tool. Sub-process. I just named it a process and nothing much on this. Let's go back. Now you see here again I have joint conditions where I have all, I have any, I have iterate, I have sum. All, any and sum, we are aware of it. All as n, until all the students in this list are complete, I will not proceed with the main flow. Any. Suppose out of 100 candidates, if one of the candidates' transaction is complete, I can proceed for them. But that does not work for my scenario. Practically, it doesn't work that way. And I don't even need to interview all the 100, maybe because my requirement is I need 10 CSS, 10 CSS, and 5 LSS. That's what I'm looking for. If probably after 55 interviews, if I've already got my requirement down, I got all 10 CSS, 10 CSS, 5 LSS. I've already got them. I don't need to continue the rest of the interviews. I might reject, I might stop the recruitment process till then. Probably all and any might not work for my scenario, but I can go with some. When you use some, what is your condition? When would you like to exit? When? Probably my count has reached 10 CSS, 10 CSS, 5 LSS. If that is my count, I would like to exit my iteration. You can have it on when there could be a condition, or it could be on a count also. If after like 75 interviews I would like to stop, you can. When you give it a count, it is asking after how many successful transactions or until how many successful process should I complete. Should I stop? Maybe I can define, and after 50 iterations I would like to stop. And 50 iterations with the status as accepted or selected. I can design this according to my requirement. That's one thing that you have with some, where your conditions can be given. Then the other interesting option is iterate. If you give iterate, you can decide when you should exit the iteration. It's more like, when would you like to exit your iteration? This is again your condition that you can mention. Conditional based stopper. This is more like a breakpoint. When should I come out of the loop? Here also you can define on a conditional basis. There are two whens here if you observe. This is for exiting your transaction. When should I come out of the loop? This is for exiting. And this when is for starting. This would be there for almost all the scenarios you can see. Is there a condition for me to start the sub-process? If yes, then you can go for this one. Otherwise, if it's empty by default, the process would start. And you can see this when for all the scenarios, join all is there. When should I start it? Any is there again, even for any also. When should I start? This when is for starting. The conditional when comes into picture when you use some or item. I think we will go with all. I have a sub-process. All candidates on the list have to go through the sub-process. You are splitting it for each item on the list. Let's see how it looks like. In the earlier scenario, we have different people, we have different processes. But now the process is same, but they are all operated on multiple instances of a list. I have 4 items on the list. Let us submit. Sub-process assignment. I see 4 sub-process assignments that are pending. Now, unless I complete all of them, my transaction will not proceed further. I can see 3 are still pending. Because I have mentioned all unless all the 100 candidates are interviewed, I am not going to continue next. Probably the 99th candidate might be a good LSA for me. I would like to finish all their interviews. Only then I would like to move. In case if it's any, one of it is complete, I am good. This then probably for the interview scenario, this might not work at all. But still, let us just have a look. Four candidates are there on the list. but yet if one of it is complete, either one is complete. Then I see I have moved on to the next subsequent action. That is there. Here, I do not need to wait until the others are complete. That's the advantage of having this any. In most of the scenarios, we don't use any because it's like a very random scenario. Anything can complete and I can just proceed as is a random scenario. We wouldn't use it much. All is used and then some conditional based ones are used. Clear with this? Split for each. Then we'll see another one. There's one more functionality you can say, which is spin-off. In the earlier two shifts, split for each and spin-off, they are more like sub-processes. I mean, they were kind of, they had some dependency on it. And I mean, like when my case has to proceed further, I will check these statuses whether they are complete or not, and then I will move forward. But here with spin off, this goes in parallel with your main transaction. I mean, with the main flow, you can have your subflow running in parallel. They can be independent of each other. There's no dependency. I don't need to wait for my sub-process to complete. They can just run in parallel. Like when your candidate is onboarded, you can have a BGV process running in parallel. I don't need to wait for his onboarding announcement, for verifying his documents, for providing laptops and all. I don't need to wait for his BGV. Your spin-off will create a separate flow for itself. It runs parallel with your main flow. For example, let us look at it. Spin-off doesn't have any separate shape. Spin-off would be available on your directly on the flow level. Is there a sub-process here? This is anyways a sub-process, but let us use a normal sub-process instead of this. Generally, what does a sub-process mean is, yes, there is a dependency. Unless your sub-process is complete, the main transaction will not proceed. That's how the dependency is. But let us see. Let me give this provided. Let us look at the normal. How the sub-process would work. Yes, provide laptops is there. Now, unless I finish provide laptops, I cannot move forward. I think that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Until this is complete, I cannot proceed with sub-process. Post sub-process or the next actions cannot be taken care of. I have an option. called spin-off. What it does is the main flow would continue along with that. My spin-off flow will continue as parallel. This doesn't have a separate shape, just that it is a feature. Now if I submit it, you see the flow, diversify it like I have two arrows now. Earlier it was just a sub-process. Earlier, once I removed this, it was just a sub-process. It has to be completed and then the case progresses. Now the case diversified. Let's see how this is going to work. And probably it would be good if we could add in one more step, or we can do that. Now my infra has two steps, just for us to know whether it's being executed or not. Two assignments are there, and what about this? You see sub-process. Now this looks good. I'm directly on to post sub-process. I did not even reach the provide laptop. You see, that's more like an open assignment. It is still in pending. I mean, it is yet to be completed, but that did not stop my flow. I can just advance with this. I can go ahead with the rest of the aspects. I was able to go to get personal info. I'm almost on the submission stage, and yet I see provide laptops are still pending. If required, yes, I can open this provide laptop. Along with the main transaction, you are able to do it. You can advance this case and I can proceed. And if I would like to leave it, probably I want to pause it. I can do, and I can just go with the main flow also. I'm on the experience details. Let's advance this. There's this SLA here. Now I'm already on the release offer. Now I'm on onboarding. Yes, I'm in onboarding where I have the earlier parallel process also defined on the case. And now one which is part of my subflow. I think provide software is part of the subflow. Now I can go ahead and complete it. That's like you are running it like an entirely different flow. Completely a parallel flow to the main flow that you are doing. Do we need to complete the subflow also? The sub was not stopping us from executing the main flow. It was still, and it's supposed to correct by closing the case. Is it required that we should complete it, or we can leave it like that? It's not mandatory, but yes, you have to complete it. For example, let's see this scenario where I'll let the process be. I wouldn't complete it. I'll do one. Maybe I'll remove it here. But still it will be a parallel process for me. because this is still a sub-process for me. Is it pointing to? No, I think we changed it. Where is this? What is that we have added? No provide FRA. It has got provide laptop, it's off. But why is this showing only one? Here I see provide on FRA. Let me just do it once again. I don't know what, we will just change this. Let's check this now. I will let the sub-process be. I wouldn't complete it, but let's check if the system throws any error. I'm already in the post shop process. Provide laptop is ending. Issue IDs is part of grant access. Let's proceed and verify docs. Let's complete verify docs. Ideally, the case should move further. Yes, it's on the resolution, whereas provide laptop is still pending. My subflow that we have spin off is still pending. Let us advance this. Yes, I see the case is completed. Provide laptop is still on. Ideally, there is no restriction for me to complete it mandatorily. But when asked for the business requirements, we would generally finish it or wrap the sub-process before you are fine. Your main case is closed. As for the business requirement, technically yes, I can have it still running even though my case is complete. Clear with this? There will be no error message or anything to complete it. It will still remain. Yes, see, nothing is there. It just still show this in my optional actions. My other actions. Thanks, Nate. Thank you. Have a good day. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.